How's it going? My name's Paul. I am the National Coordinator for Red Frogs South Africa. Red Frogs is a volunteer support network made up of young people that come from all over the country to head down to Rage locations, in essence to serve and safeguard a generation of young people that are enjoying the Rage Festival. So the reason why we're called Red Frogs is actually because of this little sweet here that's in a shape of a red frog. This is just a conversation starter. There's no drugs in here, don't worry. They don't make you sober or anything like that. They literally are just a conversation starter. So all our volunteers walk around wearing matching black t-shirts, and that can look weird at times, so we're aware of that. And so these are just a way to start a conversation with young people and connect with them. Yeah, so being at Rage Festival South Africa is honestly one of the best environments that we actually serve at as Red Frogs. So we're a neutral service provider. We're not sort of an emergency service in any way, shape or form. The best way to describe Red Frogs is a referral service. And working at Rage Festival has always been just an incredible space for us to be. The event organizers put a huge amount of time, effort, energy, and resource into ensuring a safe and holistic environment for young people. And so from our perspective, it's some of the best security that we work alongside. It's some of the best medical providers that we work with. In general, working alongside the organizers is just an incredible partnership as we all together try and work towards safety and an incredible event. So Red Frogs has a number of different harm minimization strategies that we put into place during Rage Festival, and many of these we work alongside the event organizers to ensure. So that's everything from our call center number, which is 060 Red Frog, and Matrix can call that at any time, day or night. Whether they have lost their friend, lost their wallet, or whatever the case may be, they can contact us. And so what we do with that number is we work very closely alongside the emergency service providers from Rage to ensure that young people are cared for in an appropriate fashion. And we'll actually partner with those service providers and walk alongside young people through whatever situation they may be in. One of the things that we're famous for as well is our pancakes, our free pancakes. So young people can phone us anytime, day or night, and order pancakes. We'll send a team to wherever they're staying and make them free pancakes in that environment. And everyone loves a free pancake, and they're awesome. But another thing that's great about free pancakes is they fill the stomach a little, so guys aren't drinking on an empty stomach before they head into the night. It's these little things and other bigger ones that all work together towards providing a safe environment for young people. Yeah, so our biggest advice to parents is honestly to just have conversations with your kids. And we know that sometimes that's uncomfortable, and sometimes that can even be awkward, and maybe for some of you these are the first times you're having these conversations. But again, our encouragement is to have open and honest conversations around some of your worries, some of your concerns. Hear your young people out, hear what they're excited for, hear what they're looking forward to. Another encouragement in line with that is to have conversations around boundaries and maybe expectations. When do you want your kid to phone you to let you know that they're okay? Maybe is it a WhatsApp once a day with a little thumbs up? Whatever it may be, just have conversations around Rage, around your expectations, and around some of your fears and boundaries that you'd like to have in place with your kid. I think that goes a long way in alleviating some of your fears and concerns. I think an encouragement to parents is to contact Rage and to get an insight into their safety measures, to see what's going on behind the scenes, and the guys have put a lot of work into providing that information for you on their website, so check that out as well. Another tip would be to let your kid work for the money that they're going to spend at Rage, and for a lot of you there's an expectation that this is a rite of passage and we've just got to send them off on their way. Our encouragement is the more that your child works for that money, the more that they're able to actually have a sense of where it's going. And so that's going to decrease how much they just spend on other things. And so that's just a positive tip. Another tip would be to pack frozen meals. So if you give Jimmy 100 Rand and tell him to buy food, he may not buy food. But if you give Jimmy a frozen meal, they'll put that into a freezer, hopefully, and cook it and save it for later. So that's just a great tip for parents as well. So if you're a young person heading to Rage, there's a lot of hype and pressure around it, and some of that's really good. This is going to be one of the best partying environments you head down to. The events are amazing, the sort of everything that goes on around it is great. Hanging out on the beach with your mates is awesome. And I think our advice to you is to focus on that. Focus on your friends, focus on the good times with them. But we're also aware that for some of you, there's this pressure on you to tick a certain set of boxes as I go to Rage. It's become a rite of passage, your transition from being someone at school and at home to being an adult in the big world. And so with that comes the expectation to maybe experiment with drugs, to maybe push your boundaries in certain areas around your values and your beliefs. And our encouragement to you is to be firm on those things before you get to Rage, to be firm on your values and your boundaries before you get here. Maybe have those conversations internally, maybe have those conversations with your mates, but have a clear set of values, have a clear set of boundaries before you get here. We know that for some of you do want to push those boundaries. We're aware of that, and our encouragement to you is maybe this isn't the best place to do that. If you're a dodgy drug dealer, right? If you're someone who's wanting to push some dodgy stuff, this environment is the best place to do it. You've got a bunch of kids who are excited to try stuff, who maybe don't have all the knowledge around this kind of thing, and this is where you're going to push that kind of stuff. And so the incidents we encounter are with young people who are experimenting for the first time in this environment, and they've taken something that's dirty or something that's not exactly what they expected. And so our encouragement here is, one, don't take drugs. They're bad. You know that. We know that. Everyone knows that. But also, don't take drugs here. This isn't the safest environment to do that. And again, our encouragement to you is focus on your mates. Celebrate times with them. Make it about the memories that you guys have together in that space. I think for a lot of parents, there's sort of a fear of sending their kids to Rage because of all that is happening at Rage and that perception. And so there's an idea that maybe sending them somewhere else is a better idea. I think from our perspective, one of the advantages to sending a young person to a planned and structured environment like Rage is all the safety features that sort of come along with that. So everything from the actual events, where the events are happening and the parties are happening, the safety of those environments, the service providers that are there, as well as obviously our presence in those environments, that goes a long way in making sure young people have a safe time. And pretty much everywhere that a young person is at a Rage event, whether it's at the actual event or in their hotels, there's a holistic presence to that. There's a consciousness in these cities, in Umhlanga, in Ballito, that young people are coming here, and so we gear up for that. The whole community gears up for this event. And so Red Frogs aren't just at the events at night, we're actually around all the time. So from our perspective, it's better to send someone to a planned environment rather than just send them off to somewhere where you may not have the same level of control. One of the other perceptions that sort of has been formed around Rage and Matric Holiday around the country is this is like an isolated Mecca event. Like anything that happens at Rage stays at Rage. Everything that goes on in Ballito stays in Ballito and Umhlanga. And that's true in part, but it's also not true in part. This is part of the real world. What happens here will stay with you. The decisions you make in moments at Rage will stay with you forever. And so be conscious of that. Be conscious of the fact that at Rage, the policing is incredible. There are undercover cops. There are policies and things put in place in order to prevent these kind of issues. And if you get caught taking something at Rage, it's going to stay with you. A few years ago, a young guy was in Ballito, actually not at a Rage event, but he was celebrating the end of his school career. And one night he decided to take something that was illegal. He didn't think much of it. He just decided in a moment to try and actually got bussed by cops as he was in a club. A few years later, he wanted to go study education in the UK and become a teacher there, and he couldn't because of this criminal record. The decisions you make in a moment stay with you for a lifetime. And so our encouragement to you is make good decisions.